Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Can you say good evening? Good evening. How is everybody? We have a lot of I've already met 4 or 5 visitors. If you're a guest with us tonight, we want to say we're glad to have you here at True North. Everybody joining online, we want to let you know that we're glad to have you with us. Find a way to reach out and text me or email us or find us on social media, something. Let us know that you're tuning in. We're glad to have you here. Once again, I'm going to be flying solo because Blake is still in quarantine, but he's doing well. He's feeling fine, but he's going to be out of quarantine on Sunday. But during the 4-minute party, you can go and say hi to Blake or to anybody else that you want to say hi to by going up to this camera right over here and give a shout out. We are really, really glad to have folks watching online. I know we have people tuning in from Florida because I met some of you this past weekend, and so we're glad to have you tuning in, and maybe from some other states as well. Hey, anybody in the room, I've got a $15 iTunes gift card right here. As we wrap up our 15 series, it's a $15 iTunes gift card for the first person that next Wednesday or any Wednesday, I'll keep it in my wallet, the first person to bring me 3 first-time guests. They have to be 3 people that have been here and they've not been here before. So that's going to be a challenge. But it's worth it's worth $15 on iTunes. So I'm going to hold on to that. Somebody dropped some money in the girls' bathroom. If you had your money for True North, it is some money up here. If you know how much it is or roughly how much it is. If not, it's going to be going to Liliana Sunday. So this is your one shot to let us know if you drop the money. Do what? No. And so you can identify. I'm going to put it right there, but it will go to Liliana on Sunday. So there we go. All right. Hey, before we jump in any further, adults, listen carefully, and everybody else as well. Tomorrow there is a conference that takes place in this room, so when you leave, we need everything under your chairs to be taken with you. Any cup, napkin, wrapper, anything. Adults, normally we do a great job, but for the past 2 or 3 weeks, there have been at least 15 to 20 cups or plates or things left in the back. We're not saying it's your fault because there's other teens that leave their food there, but let's try to do our best to throw stuff away. Tonight, after we're done, I'm going to try to remember to announce to everybody to go through and pick stuff up, especially any teen who wants to go and help out in the game area back there. There's always cups and napkins and stuff left out there. So let's do our best to get things cleaned up after we're done tonight, especially and in the future as well. If you got it, say got it. Okay, in just a minute, any of our guests who are with us, we're going to all stand up and meet one another. And when we do that, we're going to have what we call a 4-minute party. All we're going to do is ask you to come up here and not in front of everybody. We're going to all be standing up. But we have some students that will be up here to give you a Baskin-Robbins gift card if it's your first time with us. And so in just a moment, we'll be doing that. But for right now, if you've got a cell phone, if you could silence that so that it is not going to be a distraction, that would be great. And then we're going to keep moving on because I believe. Oh, okay, there we go. I believe that the 4-minute party is next. Is that right? All right, we're going to be doing that in just a moment. Those that are helping me, come on up. You should know who you are. Come and find one of these fine folks if you are a guest, and if you have not gotten your gift card, if you've been here before and have not gotten your gift card, come on up and get it. But it's for first-time visitors of the NBYG. You'll fill out a visitor form for us. Everybody else, it's not difficult to meet somebody that you don't know or somebody in our group that you've not spoken to. If a guest shows up in our place and they leave without being greeted by at least somebody, at least several somebodies, then we fail. Let's not do that. I see lots of students that may be new, and I see lots of guests and folks that may be sitting alone. Do your best to try to get folks to sit with you, and let's be a welcoming place. If you got that, say got it. This should be really, really easy. But for the next 4 minutes, we want to make sure that you're making people feel welcome. Adults, you should try to find somebody at another table, even if you know them, and just say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's make this a real party. It's going to last for 4 minutes. That's why we call it the 4-minute party. Let's all stand up and do that now. If you're a guest, come up here and meet them. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to True North. It's glad to see you again. Tonight we're having another lesson on the 15 series. So I'm really excited to hear what Gideon has to say. So.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're doing online. Should try and come in person one week, but for now, online is great.
Yep. Enjoy the rest of your night and have fun. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, to everybody watching at home, Blake, we miss you. We look forward to seeing you. We'll be talking to you in just a minute. Spoiler alert for everybody watching at home. These folks don't know about that yet. We have 2 weeks left in our 15 series, and then we're going to start a new series that's going to go along with a series that David Young is doing at North Boulevard called Invincible, How to Live Faithfully in a World that is really kind of hostile to faith. So we're excited about that. David will be joining us for about maybe 3 or 4 of those 8 Wednesday nights. So that's coming up. Everybody else, enjoy. We're glad that you're with us. Those of you that are in quarantine or that are sick, we hope to see you back soon. We miss you and we long to have you back with us. Have a great night, everybody. Blake, I'll be calling you very soon. How are you doing? Good to see you. All right. How many of you, in fact, did greet somebody that you have not talked to in a long time? How many of you met somebody you don't know, that you actually don't know? All right. Well, we are really, really glad to have everybody with us. A good crowd tonight. Some of you are getting older. Actually, I think all of you are. But we're getting older, and some of you this week are celebrating the fact that you are getting older. It's time for our birthdays in the borough. Anybody that has a birthday from September the 5th, I forgot to put the other date, to whatever the, what's Saturday, the 11th? All right, so the 5th to the 11th. I forgot to fix the slide. Nice. Lots of birthdays. Lots of birthdays. An Abraham Lincoln Band-Aid for everyone. This is your first Abraham Lincoln Band-Aid, Landon. Is that true? Oh, have you been looking forward to this forever?
Sure.
Okay, well, way to play that off. Congratulations. All right, we're going to sing happy birthday to these folks. The way we do it in the NBYG is with 3 simple words, and those words are, you're still cool, and it goes like this. Sing out.
You're 1 year older than you used
Come on.
to be, and you're still cool.
Good job, good job.
You've still got it. It's plain
Plain
to
to
see.
see. Here we go. You're still cool. Here we go. It's your birthday today. That's why we're here to say big finish.
That you're still
Still cool. Everybody say happy birthday. Congratulations. Good job. I was going to ask some questions, but that's a quiet crew. I knew that. Oh, this is just what I feared. So, do I need to explain what's going on? Well, there's several people watching at home and some visitors going, yes, please. I knew this was going to happen eventually, but I forgot. I have a phone call? I have a call? Is it a real phone call? Jeff Walling is calling me on the Dora space phone? Okay, am I supposed to really take a call, or is that's just a setup? Just a joke. Oh, that was just a joke. Okay, very good. I can see they're just as funny as the original birthday boys. Hey, so the birthday boys are back, and as random as ever. We have we got a clone. Is there a theme going on that I'm supposed to guess? This is just let's go and find whatever we can find. Just promise me that everything goes back where it belongs, because otherwise the birthday boys get canceled. We have Boba Fett. I think I don't know who. Most random. This is tough. I'm going to probably have to go with Boba Fett and a whoopee cushion with 2 plungers. That's good. I actually don't even know who all these people are. I know who that one is. I know who that one is. Still trying to figure out who the other. I think I know who that one is. All right, very good. So, hey, that gun you have is actually the gun that I made when I was like 7 years old. This one right? No, not that one. This one here. Don't point the guns at people, even when they're fake. All right. So the birthday boys are back, and that means every birthday. Is this going to happen every birthday? Why is George Bush wearing an eye patch on his forehead? Can you explain that? Do what? I couldn't hear what you said. No, you didn't drop it. It's now stuck to the mask. The war. He's wearing an eye patch in the middle of his forehead because of the war. Okay. I don't even know what's going on. Okay. Well, those of you that had birthdays tonight, I know you are so excited. Those of you that are tuning in for the very first time and say, I want to see what my kids are doing at church. My apologies. But we're glad that they're back. Everybody say goodbye to the birthday boys, everybody. Nice. Hey, wait. Come here, guys. Come here. One more time. This is my fault. I'm actually delaying this, I know, because I've got to get a picture to send. Here, get back up on the stage, but be careful. I've got to get a picture to the original birth. Here, come right here. Get right here, and then get in the line. Yeah, get in the line there. Let's see it. Okay, make your best birthday pose. Okay, very good. All right. These are the violent birthday boys. All right, there we go. Yeah, Blake is also texted to say, please put all that stuff back. I will go and check. The original birthday boys never put hardly anything back. But we're so glad to have them back. Did that sound sincere? Okay, good. Was it believable? Well, they're back. There you go. That's exciting. All right, a couple of things that we want to announce. One, we need some volunteers. This is going to be challenging. If there's somebody that volunteers for this, the first 3 people that volunteer for this, I will actually give you 20 NBYG bucks a piece if you're willing to volunteer for this. It's going to be tough, but I think it's the next slide. There's a special event that's happening this week. It's the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and there is going to be the Heroes Run that takes place in our county, in our community. How many of you are familiar or know what the Heroes Run is? Raise your hand. How many of you will be running in the Heroes Run? Anybody running in the Heroes Run? Oh, wow, nice. Okay. I know that Lori Stevens needs some volunteers to help with this. It does mean that you have to be there ready to go at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday to help out. But if you need service points or service hours for school, this is a great way to get them. If you just want to be a blessing to the community, this is a great way to help. And I will sweeten the deal. The first 3 people, Brad, if you don't mind just standing up and waving your hand there. Brad, are you going to be here at the end of True North? Or are you going to have to leave? Okay, at the end of True North, Brad, if you can just come up to the front as soon as we're done, just come stand up here. Anybody that wants to do that and says, hey, I'd love to go and help and volunteer. If you're already volunteering, that doesn't count. They need more volunteers. So this is not people that are already volunteering. But the first 3 to sign up tonight, Brad, if you'll get names for me, if anybody's able to do it, and sign up early in the morning on Saturday, we'll give you 20 NBYG bucks a piece. That'll help towards fall retreat or some other event, but that'll just encourage you to participate in this great thing. Okay, there we go. Let's move on. We want to remind, there will be a top 10 coming out. We haven't had one the last couple of weeks because of the holiday week and a lot of other things. There will be one, and in that you'll see some more details about the Girls' Night Out that is taking place on Saturday, September the 18th. It's going to be $3 for pizza. It'll be in this room, pizza and games and a movie, but even more important than all those 3, just the time to fellowship and be together. So girls, this is a great chance. If you're saying, I don't know anybody, I'm not very connected, this is how you do that. So show up to this event. We'll have more information about it, but there's all the information. The time is 6 to 10. Everything you need to know is right there. So if you want to get a picture of that slide to remind you, and we'll text it out. We will also email out some information about that. There you go. Okay, let's move on. We're on time tonight. It's time for our pictures of the week. Here are the pictures of the week. The first one, I think they're just some animated GIFs, or GIFs, whichever one frustrates you the most. That's what I'll say. Here we go. This is the moment this dog realized that this ain't his house and we ain't his humans. The dog's like, hey, whoa, wrong house. And that dog takes off out of that house. It's pretty cool. The dog knew he was in the wrong place. That was nice. Okay, exactly what is this thing? I don't know what this is, but it looks really enjoyable. I just picture Zeb Fox riding around on one in the snow. What exactly is that? It's like a tractor that operates in the snow? I have no idea. Has anybody ever seen one of those things? It looks like a pod racer from the redneck version of the Phantom Menace. All right, how to sweep a girl off her feet, guys, if you want to know how to do that. Lots of guys are like, yeah, I need some advice. This is the best advice I can give you right now. Here's how you sweep a girl off her feet. Right here. And so this is romantic. He's going to kiss. Oh, she hits go. Oh, whoa. And, okay, it was almost two ladies. So there you go. Watch out. When you lean over to kiss somebody, be sure you don't hit the button that makes the boat go. Dad pranks. I love dad pranks. I mean, I don't ever do them. Anyway, here's a good one. I'm sure you've seen it. This has been going around a while. I can't believe somebody fell for this. Oh, okay. Now the mystery is solved. Y'all are supposed to trickle in a little more slowly. Yeah. Slater fooled me. I didn't realize we had anything up there that would hide that much hair. Good job. Were you Dora? You weren't Dora. That's the only one I know that was Isaac. All right. I'm ruining the magic. Dad pranks. Here we go. You all seen this, right? It's like, where's the baby? Oh, no, there goes the baby. Okay, she's okay. That lady really thought that baby was taken off to the sea. It's like, those are some powerful balloons. All right. Jovi's watching that going, that looks like fun. That looks fun. Okay, here we go. Bet you didn't see that coming. Oh, this. Bet you didn't see this coming. Uh-oh, what's going to happen? Oh, beware of unexpected waves. Yeah, there was. It wasn't what we all hoped for. We hoped the guy was going to get wiped out. But there it is. Hello. Okay. Best high five you'll see this week. You might see a better high five. If you do, feel free to send it to me. Maybe we'll have a high five of the week. You ready to see a good high five, Wyatt? You're still thinking about that tractor thing in the snow, aren't you? Okay. This is the best high five you'll see this week. It'd be really tough to beat this somebody. I'm sure you all are on the internet a whole lot more than I am, so you might know a better high five. This is the best one that I've seen all week, right? There. That's a pretty good high five. Okay, yeah, Cooper's like, it's only fingertips. Anybody can do that. Just recreate that. You and Isaac, get on there and try that. You execute the perfect high five. If you don't do that, I will show it every True North from now until Jesus comes back. Okay, it's now time for the tweets of the week. Here are the tweets of the week. Oh, hey, we haven't heard this since True North Live, back during the quarantine. Too soon? I shouldn't mention that. Here are the tweets of the week. Really bummed that soon I'll have to stop canceling plans due to COVID and start canceling plans with my usual bag of petty lies. There we go. That's a good one. Here's one. Deleting dating apps so I can find love the old-fashioned way, being locked in a tower until an ogre and his donkey come and rescue me. That's a good one. When I leave the Zoom and my smile disappears, I do feel like a serial killer. There you go. And then I like this one. How are unicorns fake, but giraffes are real? Like, what's more believable, a horse with a horn or a leopard moose camel with a 40-foot neck? She's got a very, very valid point. All right, let's move on. This is cool. So this right here is sand from the beach. If you just go to the sand volleyball court or sand on the beach and you grab some sand, this is what it looks like. But the cool thing is if you put it under an electron microscope and zoom in, I just found this to be really, really cool. I'm sure you've seen this before, but it's really cool to remind us that even the smallest of things that our Creator has paid lots of attention to, this is what every single grain of sand looks like. Pretty amazing, pretty remarkable. But we'll keep moving on to a segment I call Who Is This? Who is this? There we go. All right, so I'm going to show a picture, and you're going to try to guess who you think the picture is. Who do we think this person is? Raise a hand. You get a guess. We'll get a guess from over here and a guess from over here. Do we have one guess? Who's the first person that wants to guess who this is? Anybody want to know? I'll make it worth 5 NBYG bucks to the person who guesses. Landon, thank you for your guess. You do what? Yeah, no, Rick Astley. No, it is not. Good guess. It does look like him. That is not him. We have one more guess over here. Yes. You got it right. 5 NBYG bucks right here. It is a young Bob Ross. I guess you've seen that before. All right, very, but still, that's fine. Hey, Vicky's got your NBYG bucks. Go right back there. The whole family's got 5. She's waiting on you. Go grab them. 5 NBYG bucks. That's Bob Ross in high school, late high school, or early college. There you go. Now we just got to get a Bob Rosser picture from 7th grade. We'll show that later. Okay, kids say the darndest things. We're all familiar with that. Oh. All right, here we go. I love, I collect these. I collect kids' answers to questions, and here are some of my favorites. Here's the assignment. Write 5 words you can spell. Okay? That's the assignment. Here we go. 5 words you can spell. Got it. Done. 100. Made 100. She writes very clever. I'm sure the kids like very clever. I just did what I was told. Here's one. Now, this one, write the following words in alphabetical order. The order they come in the alphabet. I'm glad they explained that. Here are the words. You see the words up there? They're supposed to write these words in alphabetical order. This kid may be too smart for his own good. There's his answers. They're all in alphabetical order. Every one is in alphabetical order, the way it comes in the alphabet. That's pretty brilliant. All right. We finally will end with this tonight. I know my mom is happy when she tries to dance with me. That's nice. I know my mom is mad when her face is red. That's good. My mom drives me crazy when she says my birthday was canceled. How do you do that? I don't know how you do that. And then I wish, I wish my mom could reinstate my birthday. But no, I wish my mom could lay dragon eggs. There we go. I wish, be quite the mom there. There we go. All right, those are the pictures of the week. Okay. What kid with a little big pencil? Lay dragon eggs. All right. We're going to play a game now. We're going to give somebody in the room, it won't be a big prize. You're only going to get 5 NBYG bucks each because not everybody has a chance to compete with this game. But this is going to be a game that we're going to get a pair of people from the 7th, a guy and a girl from the 8th grade, and the 9th, and the 10th, and 11th, and the 12th. So if you're willing to volunteer, get ready to do that. But first, you're going to be competing not just against each other, but it is a segment that we are calling, what do they all have in common? It's a segment called, Are You Smarter Than a Doctor? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Brent Rosser. Brent, come on up, Dr. Rosser. Here comes Dr. Rosser looking very, very official. We're going to go ahead and get our teams, and then we'll make a phone call here in just a moment. Brent, thank you. If you want to grab this microphone right there, it is turned on and ready for you to go. Brent, how are you?
I'm good. The only time I ever wear this white coat is for NBYG skits.
Is it really?
Yeah, I never wear it.
Well, we're going to give you worked hard for that. You should wear it more often.
That's why it's so clean.
You should wear it to baseball games, soccer games, and amusement parks.
Cut meat or things like that.
That's right. When you cut hair. I know things have probably been stressful at the clinic. Lots of stuff going on. We're going to give you a little bit of a break and let you compete, but you are going to be competing against 6 teams of people. All right, so I need a 7th grade guy and girl. We're going to start with the 7th grade. I need a 7th grade guy and girl. Parker, come on up. All right, Laura Jo, come on up. We want you to stand right over there. And if you guys would grab those cards there with an arrow on it, every pair is going to go right up there and grab a card with an arrow on it. I need an 8th grade guy and girl. An 8th grade guy and girl. One right here. I need a guy. I need an 8th grade guy right there. Come on up. Here's our 8th grade guy.
So far, you're...
Sam, I've never seen Ben so excited. Ben was so excited about
So
Sam.
far, you're 4 for 4 for my patients.
Oh, really?
These are all my patients right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, grab one of those sheets and goes, hey, y'all go down here. 7th grade down here, then 8th grade. But grab the thing right there. All right. I need a 9th grade. A 9th grade guy and girl. Okay, I saw your hand first, so come on up. I need a 9th grade. 9th grade? All right, come on up. Bruno, is that Bruno? I can't see because of the light. All right, come on up. We have a 9th grade. Y'all move down. Now go over there and grab one of those. Do I have to explain that every time? Every pair, go up and grab one of those cards. Brent, you will also need one of those.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and get one. All right, 10th graders. I need a 10th grade guy and girl. One right there, right here. Come on up. All right, I need an 11th grade guy and girl. An 11th grade guy. You're running in the Heroes Run. You should get to do this. 11th grade. Come on up. I need an 11th grade guy. Chandler, come on up. Very good. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Each pair only needs one. You only need one. So one of you put them back. Each pair only needs one. Okay, I believe that leaves the 12th grade. 12th grade, Justin, come on up. I need a 12th grade girl. All right, come on up. The power team of Justin and Ellie are going to bring this home for the senior class. I feel it right now.
Yes, you see.
All right. Hey, we're going to make a phone call right here. Oops, my phone just, okay. We're going to make a phone call right here. And you know what, Mike, I am so sorry. I'm going to need another microphone. Alex, if you can bring that microphone up here, that was my bad. I appreciate you guys being willing to go on the fly. We're going to bring this. A big hand for Alex Bailey, everybody, who's bringing the microphone up. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. All right, check. Okay, we're going to lay this down right here. We'll put the mic there. I probably should have turned the mic off while I did this. That's driving everybody crazy that operates microphones, but there we go. I turned it off. Now it's back on, and we're going to try to do this. All right, here we go. Everybody listen very carefully. That should work. Oh, no, it just died. We'll try it again. I'm not sure what happened there.
Hey, this is Blake Boggs. I'm so sorry that I was unable to answer your call. If you leave a short message, I will get back to you as soon as I can.
It went to Blake's voicemail. Okay, Blake, if Blake's watching at home, we are trying to call you right now. There we go. We could just all leave this whole game as a voicemail on his phone.
Hello?
Hey, Blake, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hey, everybody, Blake's on the phone. Everybody say hi, Blake. Hi. All right, can everybody hear him out there okay? Blake, say something.
How's everybody doing?
All right, we got it. Okay, so Blake, we're going to play a game. You've got the questions. You're going to read the questions off. Let's turn him up there so everybody can hear him over the crowd. Guys, this is the way you're going to play it. Blake, are you able to watch online right now?
Yes, I'm watching online, but there's a delay.
So you're seeing all of our teams.
What do you say?
Can you see all of the teams?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We got some power teams up here.
Yeah, Justin Turner and Ellie Shirley. That's a big one.
Okay. All right. Hey, here's what we need. The grades, you're going to have to stand a little bit closer together. You're going to have to hold the arrow. You all are going to decide up or down because we're playing a game. Mike, here we go. The game that we're actually playing against the doctor is higher, lower. We're finishing off the game that we started with the principals. Now, here are the rules, guys. You're going to be able to watch that monitor back there, or if you want to stand up here where you can see that monitor, it's fine. You're going to see an answer, and the way you play it is the correct answer higher or lower than the one given, okay? You're going to be guessing, and you got to lock in your vote before Brent gives us his. Brent, you will then reveal your answer, okay, after not looking at all of their answers, and you're the only one that will tell us why you picked higher or lower, okay? For all of us that grew up in the 80s, this will be Brent and I living our Card Sharks dream out in front of everybody. Okay, so you all are going to hold those. You're going to guess really quickly, and you got to guess higher or lower. If you miss three, when you miss three, you then have to sit down. You've been eliminated, and the goal is to see, can you last longer than the doctor? If you are the last team winning, each of you is going to get 5 NBYG bucks. It's not a ton, but you volunteered. Not everybody else can compete. If you last longer than the doctor, then you will get 10 NBYG bucks each. All right? Everybody understand? Okay, Blake, you got the rules? You following all that?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
So, Blake, tell us just a little bit about how you're feeling first.
I'm feeling good. I'm asymptomatic. Lizzie tested positive about 11 days ago. She had it pretty bad. So thankfully we were vaccinated, which has been a very effective thing with the virus. And just very thankful for the people that have reached out and the people that have given us dinners and just helped out along the way. But we're feeling good. She went back to school today, and she is symptom-free other than her smell. She doesn't have her smell. And I'm just asymptomatic. So just missing everybody.
Yeah, okay. Well, we look forward to having you back with us. Is there something cool that has happened during quarantine that might not have happened otherwise? I probably should have not put you on the spot with that question, but can you think of one?
I think just realizing, living far from home, both of us, when you're sick or you have surgery, you realize how far from home you are. And this week has shown us a lot of who our family in Murfreesboro is. And so that's been really awesome. It may not have happened without coronavirus.
Okay, all right. Well, we're glad to have you able to tune in this way. Thanks to Mike for helping to make this all work out. Blake, you've got the questions. You're going to read them off. You all are going to look quickly. We got to go fast. When you miss 3, you sit down. If we are left with more at the end than we need, then we'll probably just do a pick a number and have to do it that way. Okay? Everybody ready? Okay, guys. Which grade do you think is going to bring home the gold here? Okay, all right. All right, here we go. Blake, if you'll give us question number 1.
Okay, what is higher or lower the most consecutive pinky pull-ups?
The most consecutive pinky pull-ups. So I guess they're doing pull-ups with just their pinkies on a bar. All right, give us an answer, guys. Higher or lower? Hold it up. Okay, we got it. All right, Brent, lock it in, guys. Lock it in. Brent, what do you think it is?
Let's see. I saw a kid with a broken pinky today in my office, so I'm going to go with higher.
Okay, you think it's higher? Oh, wow.
Go with
okay.
higher.
All right. Let's see the answer. The answer is, it is higher. It's higher. Okay, now, hey, when you guys miss, you're keeping up with your own miss, so hold up a finger. If you miss, hold up one finger. Keep that up there. Okay, very good. All right, good job. So, Brent, so far you're doing great. We have one miss right over here. The 11th graders, you're on the clock. All right, Blake, give us question number 2.
Is it higher or lower? The largest hula hoop spun by a female was 20 feet in diameter. Higher or lower?
Is it more feet or less feet? Higher or lower? So give an answer, and lock it in. You got to go quickly. You have 3 seconds to lock it in. 3, 2, 1. Lock them in. There's your answer. All right. Keep up with how many you've missed. Brent, what is your answer?
So I honestly cannot hula hoop. I don't know what it is. I don't think I have hips. Maybe that's it. But I'm going to go lower.
Okay, you think that it's a smaller hula hoop. 20 feet is a large hula hoop.
Really large.
That'd be really difficult.
Maybe
to do
it was.
that.
No.
So you've never tried to hula? I mean,
I've tried it. I just can't do it.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I cannot.
All right. Very good.
I can do this.
Well, let's find out the answer. Is it higher or lower? What say you guys? All right. The answer is, it is lower. It is lower. 17 feet. All right. If you missed one, hold them up. All right. Who's got a miss? Who's got a miss? All right. When you got 3 misses, you have to sit down on your own. Okay. Blake, are you ready with question number 3?
Yes, higher or lower, the longest hair on a teenager, 4 feet 2 inches. Is it higher than 4 feet 2 inches or lower than 4 feet 2 inches?
What, did you say something else? Hold on, I can't. No. Everybody's yelling. I can't hear what you're saying. All right, lock them in, guys. Did you say something, Blake?
Higher or lower?
Okay. All right. Is it higher or lower? Longest hair on a teenager recorded. Okay, we got it. Lock it in. Brent, what do you got?
I think Sam's mustache is close, but I'm going to go higher.
Okay, all right. What do y'all say? All right, the answer is, it is higher. 5 feet, 7 inches. Everybody got it right. All right. All right, here we go. We got to keep going. Got to go fast. The next one, Blake. Give us the next one.
Highest jump on a pogo stick, 9 feet, 8 inches.
Wow.
Higher or lower than 9
all right,
feet, 8 inches?
Lock it in, guys. Let's go. Highest jump on a pogo stick. 9 feet, 8 inches. All right, lock it in. 3, 2, 1. Lock it in, guys. Brent, what do you got?
Another thing I can't do. I cannot pogo stick. I'm going to go higher.
That may be why you got through medical school, because you weren't busy trying all this other stuff. that takes the rest of us to the doctor. Okay, let's see. Brent says higher. We have higher. We have some lowers. Let's see. Highest jump on a pogo stick is 11 feet, 15 inches. All right. Who's got two? Who's got two misses? Two misses here, two there, two misses there. All right. Blake, give us the next one.
Most powdered donuts eaten in 3 minutes, higher or lower than 25?
Okay. All right. Lock it in, guys. Lock it in. Brent, what do you got?
I'm going higher.
All right. Everybody says higher. The answer is it's lower. It's lower. I'm guessing they mean big, large donuts. I'm very surprised by this. All right, they're out. All right, y'all still in? Still in, still in. All right. Okay. All right. Hey, Blake.
Yep.
Blake, I don't know how far behind in the feed you are, but we now have 3 teams and a doctor left. Brent, how many misses have you had? Brent's got 1 miss, 2, 1, and 2. All right, here we go. Blake, give us the next one.
Higher or lower, most number of facial piercings, higher or lower than 187 piercings of the face?
All right, what do you got? The most number of facial piercings, 187. What is it? Lock it in, guys. Lock it in. All right, Dr. Rosser, what say you?
I'm going to go against it and say higher.
Okay. All right, here we go. Hey, it's either all of you are right or the doctor is right. It is higher with 280. All right, who's out? All right, you're still in. All right, now, here we go. We have the 11th and 10th grade. We have the 10th grade is here. Way to go, sophomores. You all have how many misses? You have 2 misses. Brent has 1 miss. You've already got 5 NBYG bucks. If you outlast the doctor, we move that up to 10. This is going to be big. Blake, what is the next one?
Higher or lower than 2,000, the most toothpicks in a beard, higher or lower than 2,000?
All right, let's go. They both say higher. Let's see. If you guys, you have 2 misses. If you're missed, you're out, and Brent's the winner. Here we go. It's higher. All right, you're still in. You're still in. Here we go, Blake. It's getting tense over here. Give us the next one.
The most watermelons chopped with a machete on top of someone's stomach in 1 minute, higher or lower than 43?
All right, let's go. Let's go. Higher or lower? What do you got? They both say lower. They both say lower. The answer is, it is lower, 25. All right. All right, 2 misses, 1 miss. Here we go. Blake, give us the next one, Blake.
Most t-shirts worn at once, higher or lower than 357?
Most t-shirts worn at once. They both say lower. The answer is, it is lower. It is lower. We're still going. We're still going, Blake. Let's go.
The most stairs walked by a dog balancing a glass of water, higher or lower than 12?
The most stairs walked by a dog who was balancing. Okay. All right, here we go. It's either going to be elimination time or it's going to be tied. The answer is, what do you say, everybody? It is higher. All right, that's it. You guys go get your 5 NBYG bucks. Brent, congratulations. Nobody was smarter than a medical school. You did it. You should wear that more often.
I should. It made me smarter, I think.
That was nice. Thank you so much. Congratulations. They're coming back to get their NBYG bucks. There they are. Let's give them all a big hand, guys. The 10th graders outlasted everybody else. All right. Well, I wish I had some sort of great point to all that. We really don't. We just wanted to have some fun with all the different grades. Mike, if you'll just take us to the other slide, we'll go on into our time of worship. So we have 2 weeks left in this series that we're doing called 15. We're going to spend a little bit of time worshiping together tonight. And the prayer requests that you wrote last week are being prayed about even as we speak in this room right over here. For those that are watching online, you may or may not be able to see that room, but we have some members that are in this room that are taking the prayer requests that our students wrote last week. They'll pray for them throughout the entire month of September. Some of you have asked about my friend Remy that I told you about last week, and Remy is still on the ECMO machine. Remy's 46. He's on a ventilator. He is slowly taking small steps of improvement. He's continued to lose a lot of weight because his body's not taking nourishment the way that it should. So he is still in a very dangerous place. But I appreciate some of you asking. Continue to pray for my friend Remy. It's been a really tough situation. Let's see. Is Blake? Are you still there, Blake?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you say a prayer to start us off with worship? Those that are helping us to sing, why don't you all come on up and grab your spot up here? We'll all stand up and sing in just a minute. But Blake, we do look forward to having you back with us. And I think Sunday is the day you'll be able to be back. Is that right?
Yes, I get to see everybody Sunday.
Okay, great. If you'll just start us off in worship with a prayer, and then we'll say goodbye and continue our evening, and you can continue to watch us online. I'm glad to have you joining us even this way for the game. We look forward to next week. Go ahead and start us off with a prayer. Let's pray, guys.
God, I just thank you for tonight, and God, I just pray that you'll be with everyone that has come in anxious and depressed and lost in this world and lost in our culture, but also that feel lost whenever they're in a church building. And God, I just pray that the fact that students are there and students are together, God, that you'll just bless that and be with everybody that is sick and in quarantine. And God, I just pray that your hand will comfort those that are hurting and are sick, and God, that we will be able to look back on the season of the pandemic and of this last year and find something to be thankful for. And God, I just thank you for North Boulevard and what they have meant to me and my family, and that you'll just continue to bless us. And God, thank you for the ability for us to join online and together. And I just thank you for using people and their gifts to accomplish that and to accomplish your will. And God, will you sooner rather than later bring the kingdom to earth here in Murfreesboro and in the surrounding areas. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks a lot, Blake. Appreciate it. We'll see you later. I'm going to hang up. Take care, man.
All right, bye.
We are going to mark off some time just to spend in worship. And some of you, I know from week to week, you say, I just don't really like to sing. We're not going to make anybody sing. But I would pray that you just be blessed by the words of the songs. I was really touched this past weekend and went to Orlando to share at a conference that I've had the privilege of being a part of for over a decade called SunQuest. And Kennedy was there because her family, she has a cousin that goes there. And the Doddingtons work the sound and tech for that. SunQuest normally has about 1,800 teenagers, and this past weekend they had about 850. Obviously because of COVID, but it was their first time to be together in 2 years. It was canceled in 2020, and it was canceled in 2019 because of a hurricane. So they've missed their Winterfest. They've missed it for 2 years in a row. Some of you know what that's like. And it was so cool to stand backstage and watch them worship. For many of them, it was the first large event that they had been to outside of their youth group in 2 years. And I watched kids weep in worship. And it was a reminder to me that, wow, these kids have missed a lot. And the theme of the weekend was celebrate, based on the idea of Luke 15, that there is a celebration when something that was lost is found. And these kids really celebrated. And in celebrating, they were moved to tears. And it was just really a powerful reminder of what worship is and what it means. I'm not expecting it to necessarily be that moving to everybody in here tonight, but for some of you, the week you've had, you just need to sit and listen. If you want to sit down when everybody's standing, that's fine. If you want to bow or kneel, that's fine. If you want to go to another spot in the room, that's fine. Or if you want to stand and just look to heaven and hold your arms out, that's fine. Or stand quietly, whatever you want, whatever posture you need to do, we want you to feel the freedom to be able to do. But we want you to make sure that you're honoring the people around you and not distracting them, because somebody, these next few moments will be the moment they need from this. Not the laughter we've had before, not the teaching that'll follow. This is what they need. And I get emails from people that say, I just tune in online because I just want to hear teenagers worship, because that just gives me hope. I love it when I get emails like that. And I get them, a couple times a year. When somebody says, I just love listening to them sing, because they're like, at my church, we've only got, 8 teenagers. Or in my youth group, we've only got, 20 people from 6th to 12th grade. And I just love to know that there are other people that remind me that I'm not alone. So let's all stand together, and we're going to sing. Whatever storm that you are in right now, let's just pray that the one who calms the storms will speak peace into that. Let's sing together.
He says, peace, peace, peace still. Lifts his hands, peace, peace still. Like a child, the winds obey him when he says peace, peace, peace still. He says peace, peace, peace still. Lifts his hands, peace, peace still. Like a child, my heart obeys him when he says peace, peace, peace still. Hear his voice, peace, peace still. Holy, holy, holy is the Lamb. Holy, holy, holy is the Lamb. Ladies.
He says peace, peace, peace still. Lifts his hands, peace, peace still. Like a child, my heart obeys him when he says peace, peace, peace still.
Hear his voice, peace, peace still. We'll all sing together, and the second half of the ladies can echo. We place you on the highest place, for you are the great high priest. We place you high above all else, and we come to you and worship at your feet. We place you Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and renew a right spirit within me. God, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Amen. Do this? All right, start off.
My soul magnifies the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. My soul magnifies the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God. My soul magnifies the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. My soul magnifies the Lord. My spirit rejoices in
to 111. 111. All right, here we go. Let's sing out. You are holy.
You are holy.
And you are mighty.
You are mighty.
And you are worthy.
You are
Worthy of praise. And I will follow.
I will follow.
And I will listen.
I will listen.
And I will love you.
I will love you.
All of my days.
All of my days.
And I will sing
Lord,
and worship the King is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow down before him. I will sing and worship the King is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow down before him. You're my Prince of Peace, and I will live my life for you. For you are holy.
you are holy.
And you are mighty.
You are mighty.
And you are worthy.
You are worthy.
Worthy of praise. And I will follow.
I will follow.
And I will listen.
I will listen.
Yes, I will love you.
I will love you.
All of my days.
All of my days.
And I will sing and worship the King is worthy. I will love him, adore him. I will bow down before him. I will sing and worship the King is worthy. I will love him, adore him. I will bow down before him. You're my Prince of Peace, and I will live my life for you. Yes, you're my Prince of Peace, and I will live my life for you. And the church said, Amen. That's it, everybody. Great job. Great job. Thanks to the Baileys for jumping in and helping out. That really, really helps us out more than you guys know. Great job, ladies. Nice job. You all really do sound great. I had several people in here and several people online that said, hey, something happened between the first 2 or 3 weeks and last week, meaning last week. So the singing just really, really sounded great. And I don't know what it is. I don't think it's the song selection. I know it's not the person leading the worship. And I don't think it's just the quality of the singers that are helping, although they do a great job. There's just something about you all, the way you all have worshiped the past couple of weeks. And my guess is that you worship maybe either to fill the gap or the empty places in your heart, and maybe worship begins to fill those spaces, to fill up. Maybe you worship because you're in a better mood, or maybe you worship because you are in greater need. I'm not exactly sure what that is. If some of you have an idea, I'd love for you to email me or text me and say, well, for me personally, I worship, the quality of my worship is better when this is going on, because I don't know how to explain it, except that maybe the stuff that we're talking about in this series is just bringing to light some of the things that a lot of us deal with. Now, again, I know there's 7th graders and 12th graders, college students and adults. And it's really challenging to try to find something that meets everybody where they are. And I know that we don't always succeed at that. But I don't want anybody to leave and feel like, oh man, he really talked down to me today. Or I don't want you to leave and feel like, man, I really had to climb up the ladder to stay up with it because I was drowning in information. I don't know that I'm capable of teaching, to that level. But I know that you all have really locked in. And we've got 2 weeks left in this series. Technically, next week is supposed to be the beginning of our lining up with the series that David Young is going to be doing. David Young is going to be doing a series called Invincible. How do we live faithful and live faithfully in an unfaithful world. And he's going to be looking at a lot of questions that you ask. Questions like when a teacher tells you that you're not allowed to pray in our school. Or when a friend comes to you and says, I'm beginning to question my sexual identity. Or when somebody comes to you and says, if you're going to be a Christian, then we're not going to allow you to participate in this club. All of these are really difficult questions that as we get more and more into the future, you're going to find yourself dealing with some things that it's no longer just going to be where you can show up on a Wednesday night at True North or Sunday, maybe go on a retreat and call yourself a Christian and that be the end of it. It's going to get more and more difficult for you to live out your faith. Some of us are really good about being faithful here, but it's a real challenge when you get outside of these walls. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty about that. It's just very difficult because you live in a world that says if you're going to profess your faith, you can't do that in the locker room, or you can't do that in this club, or you can't do that at this school or in this way. And so David's going to be doing a series of 8 sermons. And I really want to challenge all of you, especially students, to lock in for those 8 sermons. I'm sure some of them are going to be, kind of difficult for us to grasp, but most of them I think are going to be right where you are. He's going to come in here to True North on at least 3 and possibly 4 of those Wednesday nights for us to dialogue and just talk about how does being a teen and a Christian in today's culture, how do you live that out? Because some of you, some of my friends are being told, unless they put something as a tag on their emails during certain parts of the year, that they're not going to be allowed to work at a certain company. Or you're going to have to wear this shirt that declares our allegiance and our support of this behavior or this lifestyle or this attitude or this idea. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to work here. What is it going to be like for a Christian to say, I've got to take a stand? How do we do that lovingly? How do we do it lovingly? Peter said in 1 Peter 3:15 that we should be prepared to give an answer for the hope that lies within us, but to do so with gentleness and respect. We see a lot of Christians giving answers for what they believe, but not always with gentleness and respect. Which takes us to this series, which is one reason we did this series kind of to lead up to it. This whole series starts because the religious people are saying to the tax collectors and sinners, Jesus, why are you eating with those people? Like, we can't be associated with you if you're going to be associated with those people. And Jesus said, it's because of these people that I came here. They thought that because he was inside the house, I'm just pointing to the stage as though it were a house where he was eating. They said, just because you're in the house partying with those people, that you must approve of sin. And Jesus would say it's quite the opposite. I've come here to let them know that I've got a better way of living. And I've come here to let them, and they all gathered around to hear it. I'm so stumped by that. Because we don't have a lot of people in the world that are knocking down the doors to come to True North. Now, all of you know somebody that you think that person would never want to sit through a message in the auditorium or in here or at a retreat. They would never want to do that. But you'd be surprised. Because every single person that you know has a God-shaped hole. I have to believe that. If we're made in the image of God, and I believe that we are, there's a God-shaped hole that only He can fill. And everybody in the world is trying to fill it with everything else. And if you don't fill it with God, it'll leave space and it will leak. And everything that you're trying to do is going to find its way out. And so Jesus tells 3 stories. He tells these 3 stories as a reaction to that accusation that you eat with sinners. Why are you fellowshipping with these people? And then Jesus comes out of the house. I don't know that he was actually in a house. But he turns away from the party and he tells 3 stories. Now you guys remember the stories that we've talked about. The series we're calling 15 because it all comes from Luke 15. There's probably somebody here who's never opened a Bible, and that's fabulous. We're glad that you're here. Some of you have a Bible, but you wouldn't know where these stories were found. But we've said this is one of the chapters that if you could only take 5 chapters into a communist country, or to bring it closer to home, if you could only spend 5 days at lunch with a friend, sharing with them 5 chapters from the Bible, maybe you could share this one. Charles Dickens said it's the greatest piece of literature ever recorded. Not that it's fiction, but he said it's the greatest telling of a short story in the history of literature. Jesus first tells a story about a sheep that gets lost. And he says, hey, let's suppose that somebody has 100 sheep. One of them gets lost. Wouldn't you leave the 99 and you go and you find it? And when you find it, you put it on your shoulders, you bring it back and you gather all your friends and you say, hey, I found my sheep. Now, we're not going to unpack all of these. We've spent a lot of time doing that. You can go back online and watch the rest of them. But Jesus tells the first story about a shepherd because he's talking to people that God had said, you're supposed to be the shepherds of my children, but they weren't. Then he goes and tells another story about a young girl who lost a coin that was not just a quarter out of her pocket or part of her allowance, but it was probably a part of her wedding dowry. It was a sign of her worth. And she's wearing this necklace and 10 coins, one of them falls out, and she knows that every young man that sees me is now going to know that I used to have 10 coins, but now I've only got 9. I am worth less. Not just worthless, but I'm worth less to them because of the way their culture operated. And we talked about how even in our culture, there are young ladies and young men that because of something that you've done or something that's been stolen from you or taken from you, that you feel of less worth. Jesus is hitting right in the middle of middle schoolers and high schoolers. These stories apply to all of us. And so we've looked at those two stories, and then we talked about this story where Jesus continued about a man who had 2 sons. He gets to the pinnacle of this time of storytelling. I would love to have watched him tell these stories. He's not reading Scripture. Jesus did not say, let's all open your scrolls to Luke 15, because there was no Luke and there was no Luke 15. He's saying, let's all have a Bible class, and let me tell you a story. Look at the following PowerPoint slide. He didn't have a flannel board and get out and say, here's a shepherd and here's a sheep. He didn't do all the great things that we get to do in Faith Boulevard or VBS or Church Camp or at True North. Jesus just says, hey, let me tell you about a time there was a guy who had some sheep and he lost one of them. But he's probably not telling a friendly story. He's answering this. He's telling this story as a response to an accusation that you don't take sin seriously if you eat with those people. So this wasn't, hey, Jesus, tell us a great story. And he says, oh, okay. Tell us the one about the sheep. Oh, okay. No, he turns around to people that are muttering. And he says, hey, calm down. Let me just ask you a question. Suppose one of you had 100 sheep. Or suppose one of you had 10 coins. And then the crowd is now listening to him. Keep in mind this, guys. The people that heard this story, they never heard it. He wasn't quoting a movie they'd all seen. He wasn't reading from a book they'd all purchased at Barnes & Noble. He was, in fact, telling a story they never heard. They did not know how this story ended. They didn't know how the sheep was going to get found. They didn't know that the coin was going to get found. And Jesus says these words. He says, and when he finds it, he goes and he tells his friends, hey, let's rejoice because what was lost is now found. And then Jesus says, in the same way, there is much rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents. In fact, he also goes on to say, with the second story, in the same way, there is much rejoicing in the presence of the angels, which seems to indicate that who is doing the rejoicing? The angels? No. Who's doing the rejoicing? I can't hear you. If you say it quietly, I can't hear you. Somebody say it loud. Who would be the only person else beside the angels doing the rejoicing? Yes, thank you. Somebody whispered God. You can say God louder. It's okay. When he says there is more rejoicing in the presence of angels, God's the one that is doing the celebrating. When he says, yes, this person has made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, but you're never going to guess what just happened. I experience this a lot in youth ministry, where I get to call friends of mine. I'll say, you will never guess who called me this week. You'll never guess who I got an email from this week. And sometimes it's a student that I've not heard from in 8 years or 5 years or maybe 8 months. But I know that it's somebody that has wandered off, because Jesus tells 3 stories because there are 3 ways that we get lost. One, we just wander, and you just and the pandemic has done that to a lot of people. You just kind of find yourself, you look up and you're like, where'd everybody go? Where am I? What's been going on? Because we weren't able to meet, and we're meeting online, and your family's not driving you here. And it just gets easy to not show up. And it gets easy to not go on the retreat, because maybe you do have to miss an event because you are concerned about your safety, but then you don't go to the next one because you missed that one. And then you feel safer, and you're like, okay, I'm not as, now, I've had COVID. Now I feel like I'm safer, but now I've already missed too many things now. And then you look up and all of a sudden you just find yourself far away. That's true of somebody in this room. It's got to be. But then some of you get lost like the coin. You find yourself where somebody has done something that has neglected you. It could be a parent. It could be a friend or a friend group. It could be a classmate or a teammate. Or it could be a mentor. Somebody that you trusted to hold on to you has just kind of let go, and you realize, I'm lost, but I didn't really do anything, but I find myself separated from everybody else and everything that's going on because somebody just didn't pay close enough attention. But then there's a third way. And Jesus tells this story because this is the one that is probably the one that's going to hit closest home for all of us. Now, there are some sheep and there are some coins, no doubt, on every row of chairs and at every table in this building. But when Jesus says there was a man who had 2 sons. Now, we have our 2 sons back here. I see him. Come on up, sons. We have one, and then where's the other brother? He's over. Okay, good. You guys have playing the part of 2 guys that don't get along. You were sitting beside each other until we had you play this part. I hope I've not destroyed a friendship. Jesus continued, there was a man who had 2 sons. Maybe Jesus got 2 guys up there, and he goes on and tells a story. The younger one said to his father, Father, give me, and for this sake of this story, I think have you been the younger one or the older one? You were okay, very good. All right, come on. The younger one says to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, and he set off for a distant country. And there he squandered his wealth in wild living. So we now have the son who takes his inheritance from the father. We had Brent up here. I won't call Brent back up, but Brent was the father. And he says, give me my share of the inheritance, which is very much like saying, I wish you were dead. Just go ahead and give me that which you... Now, he divides it up, meaning that he gets his inheritance as well. So he accepts his part of it, which is probably 2/3 of the inheritance. File this away in your mind. The inheritance, what did it probably include? Let's think of some things that the inheritance would have included that was divided up among these guys. This is Family Feud here, so you can name several answers, and there's some obvious answers. Yes? Property, okay? There was some property involved, okay? There was some money involved. Those are the 2 big answers. There's a third answer. There was some livestock, meaning that there were some cattle involved, or some horses, or some animals involved. What else? There might have been some people, right? Some servants, okay? Very good. Anybody else have something that might have been involved? Landon? Yeah, there might have been some sort of other property or treasures besides just money or land. It might have been stuff. So he says, give me my share of all the stuff. Remember, property and money and also livestock. So now he's got his. The father divides it up between the 2 of them. So now who owns everything that is there that belonged to the father? The 2 sons, thank you. Some of my questions are difficult. Some of them are so easy. These guys now own it all. They've got everything. And so this one takes his and he sets out, and we're going to go to a far country. I'm just going to have you, instead of going to this side of the stage, I just want you to go back there for a second and just go all the way back and just stand back there by Zach for that camera. Turn around right there, Luke, so where the camera can still see him, Luke, but he's not blocking the camera. So, Zach, you can maybe make that happen. So, folks at home, get an idea of this sense of separation. We'll come back to you either this week or next week, but you can go and have a seat. And he sets off for a distant country. Now, I want to have a little bit of fun with this because I at least want, we're going to have a little bit of levity here, but because sometimes humor just cleans. Let me just go ahead and spoiler alert. I'll let you see behind the technique of teaching. Sometimes humor cleans us out so that we can dump something more serious in. So I'm going to be fair enough to at least tell you we're going to laugh maybe a little bit, but then I want us to get ready to get serious. He sets off for a distant country. Luke, your family often travels and goes on vacation, right? Where was the last big vacation spot that you all went to? Meaning like, the beach or Disney World or the Grand Canyon. Where's the last big place you went to as a family? Okay, the beach. On the way to the beach, were there any places that you stopped that were not gas stations or rest stops, but there was some fun roadside place you're like, oh, we got to go and see this. This is hilarious. Or let's go by and see this thing. It's a tradition for our family. It wasn't your destination. Did you happen to do that? Okay. Has anybody done that for a recent trip? Like you were going far away, but you had to stop on the side of the road and see this thing that was not your real destination, but it was worth seeing. Somebody give us a good one. Who's got a good one? Landon?
On our way to Atlanta, we stopped by a lake where you can see both sides of the mountain.
Okay, so you stopped by a lake. Okay, good. A good scenic view. Anybody else have a trip where you went? Yes, Kate. Okay, so that was a great place to stop and see. Red Rocks, awesome. So some of you know what that's like. They weren't going to Red Rocks, but you were going to somewhere else. You were going somewhere else, but you stopped to this place. Now, I don't know about you all, but when we would travel when I was a kid, I was mesmerized by this. Because keep in mind, guys, we didn't have DVD players built into the seat in front of me. I didn't have an iPad. I had an Etch-a-Sketch, okay? I might have had a pad of paper. I didn't have a cell phone. I know you're thinking, what horrible times. Were you like Fred Flintstone? Did you pick up and run with your car? No, it's not that bad. But we didn't have all those things. We had invisible ink books that we played with, and boy, we wore those things out. We had cards we'd play with, or my brother and I would sometimes read like trivia books to each other. Parents, you all remember the things we did in the car to keep ourselves entertained on a trip. And when we would stop at a rest area and they had these, I was gathering them up. I mean, I was pulling one of every kind because it would at least give me something to read. Because back in the day, I would read anything I could get my hands on that wasn't probably like a legitimate thing you were supposed to read. Meaning, I would eat breakfast on Saturday morning, and I would read. You guys remember reading the cereal box? I mean, like every side of the cereal box? You'd read everything on it. I don't know that you all do that anymore. Maybe you still do that. Hey, I'm telling you, Ian Qualls just made my ever-loving night by bringing me 3 boxes of this and Blueberry and Count Chocula. I went to 4 stores looking for this the other day. Every place I went said, no, it's sold out. And the lady looked at me and she goes, and it's hilarious. The average age of the person coming in looking for these is you. And I was like, I wonder what she thinks that means. But I'm so excited. I'm excited to go and read this. I can't wait to read this box, Ian. That's what I'll sit and do. Because in the car, I would get these things, and I loved them. Is this still a thing? Do y'all still read them at all? Yeah, some of them, okay. I would go and I'd find these, and my mom were like, why are you getting so many of these things? I'm like, we got to go to this. We got to go see Rock City. We got to go to see the Carlsbad Caverns or whatever it's called, Cumberland Caverns. We've got to go and see this and see that. Carlsbad Caverns is in California. We could have gone and see that too. That'd been exciting. I mean, Mom, Dad, we got to go see the Museum of Salt and Pepper Shakers. Like, there were places in these things, I'm like, Mom, I don't care that we're going to the beach. I don't care that we're driving to, wherever we're going. My family never went much farther than, the beach, but it's like, I want to go to see this. This is a real place. Anybody been there? I think it's in Gatlinburg. The world's tallest treehouse. It was in Cookeville, I think. I think it burnt down. Is that true? I think it burnt down. Or the National Sponge Museum in Florida. Let's go. Or what about in California? The National, you can tell by the building it's national, the National Hammer Museum. Mom, Dad, it's hammer time. Let's go. We got to go. I grew up in the 80s, so hammer time would have been as cool a thing to say. You can go to Missouri, the Show Me State, and see the National Hair Museum where they have wreaths made out of human hair. No, wait, hear me out. Some featuring locks of hair from presidents. Okay, see, now it makes it. I mean, Sam, you can keep this place in business for years. I mean, look, that lady is so excited. You can go and see the Skunk Ape Research Headquarters in Florida. When I showed this slide in Florida, the Floridians cheered because they're like, we know that place. Look, guys, they've got alligators, snakes, and ice cream, and a campground, and eco tours, whatever that is. I mean, you can have it all right there. You can go to Florida and see the world's most scenic bathroom. I don't know where it is. Or Indiana's got the world's largest toilet. You got to stop on the side of the road and let your kids jump in there, right? Check that out. You can go to New Jersey and you can see the rock where Alexander Hamilton leaned over on and breathed his last breath after his duel, which now all of you know everything about. But you can go and see this rock. It's the Alexander Hamilton Death Rock. Mom and Dad, pull over. No, we're going here. No, we got to see this. You can go to Iowa and see the future birthplace of Captain James T. Kirk. That's just for a few people in the room. And then, of course, there's this one. The world's largest ball of twine. It could be in Minnesota. There's one in Kansas City. There's 2 more that compete that say they got the largest. But this one is the actually largest sphere. Here's the guy that over several decades put twine together and has the largest ball of twine. It's my favorite Weird Al Yankovic song of all time. Most people don't know about it, but it's one of my favorite songs. Brent and I we had to go to 3 Weird Al concerts, Brent, before he finally played this. And we're sitting at the Ascend Amphitheater, and he starts to kind of play it in the background. I'm talking about it, and I'm like, Brent, it's happening. He's like, what? We're about to hear the world's largest ball of twine. Guys, I'm telling you, it's a great song. All right, I've lost half the crowd. Then you've got this one. Blake, if you're still watching, you can go to Virginia and see this. It's a Civil War reenactment park where they tell the true story of the Civil War, where we find out that dinosaurs got involved. It is a Jurassic Civil War reenactment park where you can see classic scenes of reenacting the Civil War. I don't know what's going on here, but here, students, you find out Abraham Lincoln, the way he really died, he was eaten by a velociraptor. I don't know what's going on there, but Blake would love this park. He's already right now changing his fall break plans where he's going to Universal. He's like, we may have to swing up to Virginia and go there. Now, my point is, none of these places, none of them are destinations where you go on vacation, right? But they are places where somebody they're there for a reason. I love this guy. This guy decided to take matters into his own hands, so he made his own brochure. Yeah, it's Dadland. He just made his own brochure and he said, I'll just make my own. It's all fake, but he said, he put this in rest stops all over the area. Look, check out Dadland. You got 46 gift shops, cargo shorts, visors, phone holsters, and more. Also, there's 32 affordable restaurants in Dadland. That's going to be nice. Wear socks with sandals and receive 15% off. Single day admission. And then, there you go. That's it. So he went and inserted these, and then people, I'm sure, drove there trying to find it. But the far country, Luke, that's where you are now. The far country, and that was just for us to have fun, just the idea that there are goofy places out there, but my point is, to get back to reality, the far country, Luke, has a great tourism department. Who can tell me what I mean by that? The far country has a great tourism department. Somebody just raise your hand and tell me what you think that means. Clark. It attracts a lot of people. Okay, Emily, why? Yeah, people are bored and they want to see something they've never seen before. And in the world, you may not be lured by the Salt and Pepper Museum. But I can guarantee every one of you that when you go home tonight, there won't be a rack of brochures at your house. But the internet does this. It just says, look at all of these places that we can take you right now that you have never been, that you cannot wait to see, that you're going to be able to talk about. Just click here, go here. The world is going to tell you. When you log on to your Spotify account, they're going to say, hey, when you get on YouTube, they're going to recommend a whole bunch of places that you should visit. And they'll say, you need to come and camp out here for 15 minutes of your time, or for 30 minutes of your time. The far country has a great tourism department, and the son finds himself all the way out there in the far country, and there he squandered his wealth in wild living. As Jesus is telling this story, he's probably thinking about Proverbs 29 and verse 3. Look at Proverbs 29. I'll show it to you. You don't have to look it up, but if you're writing notes, you're going to want to write that one down. Look what it says. A man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. Does that not sound just like this story? It's a spoiler alert. It's exactly what ends up happening. At least the elder brother tells us. We don't see how he squanders it. The older brother tells us how he knows. We don't know. After Luke had spent everything, there was a severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and he hired himself out to a citizen of that country who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. All right, now I'm reading scripture straight off the slide. Really try to put yourself in a place of never having heard this story before, ever. Do you guys remember the sand artist we've seen at Winterfest or at Impact or other places? The guy that tells the stories with the sand? And he tells, there's no words, there's just music, and he tells the story with sand. It's remarkable. at SunQuest several years ago, I was speaking, and they told me, hey, the sand artist is going to be up there. You're going to be teaching with him. I was really excited because it was like, this is a real thrill to get to work with this guy. And this guy's performed for the presidents of countries and the kings and queens of countries. He's been on America's Got Talent, and it was so cool to sit down with him and say, let's coordinate our message. What story are you going to tell? And he says, well, I think I was going to do the prodigal son tonight. So I found a way to work that story into my talk. And I got a volunteer up, and I just asked for a volunteer. A kid raised his hand. The kid that raised his hand, I didn't know this, was an African-American gentleman who came from a boys' home that comes to SunQuest. They bring all of the residents there, kind of like a Cedar Grove or something, and they bring all these residents. He raised his hand first. I called him up. He was 15 or 16 years old. We do our little thing together. He's a volunteer, and we're having a good time together. And then I just have him stand up there, and I'll have him watch this thing here. I had not yet gotten to the story of the prodigal son, but Joe Castillo, the sand man, the sand artist, was going to tell a story. We're showing the story, and I've never forgotten that. I referenced it this past weekend when I was talking to these students. This kid is standing right over here. We're watching the sand art. Everybody's amazed because most of these people at that time had never seen this guy perform. They weren't like, oh yeah, it's the sand artist. They're watching him do his thing. This kid, I look over and I see a tear running down his cheek as Joe is telling the story. Now, there's no words, but everybody knows exactly what's happening. You see a father, you see two sons. You see him wipe away the father as he takes the son and draws the son way over here. And you see the other brother turning away. And you see the son all of a sudden doing all of these wild things. And then you see the son being in need. Joe Castillo is remarkable at doing this. And then the son starts to come home. And you see the music as the father, well, we can't get to that part exactly just yet because some of you know what happens, but the audience did not know. Well, the audience at SunQuest knew. They knew exactly what story he was telling. But this young man standing beside me began to cry, and after it was over with, I said, man, wasn't that great? He's like, yeah. I said, I noticed that you were, getting emotional. He's like, oh, man, I'm kind of embarrassed. I said, don't be embarrassed. That's awesome. But I said, can I ask you what part of the story got you emotional? Because I thought it probably connected to maybe his life. And he said something I've never forgotten. He said, the whole thing. And then he said this. He said, I've never heard that story before. Is that story in the Bible? And I realized here's a guy who, just like the original audience, was witnessing it for the very first time. So you all know what's going to happen. You're like, yeah, let's get to the good part. This kid's sitting on the edge of his seat. Here's Luke, who now has spent everything. All of his friends are gone. All the people that loved him because of all the money he's had, it's gone. And it says he longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but nobody gave him anything. If you're the original audience hearing this and you're Jewish and you're talking about feeding pigs, first of all, that is beyond disgusting. It'd be disgusting for some of us to feed pigs. Some of you have pigs and you feed pigs, but it's not your sole job. And here's this guy, he says, I want so badly to eat what the pigs are eating, which is even like triply unclean. The people, they would have almost thrown up hearing this story. They're like, this story is unbelievable. They're all leaning in. Jesus is speaking very quietly, and he says, but nobody gave him anything. Henry Nouwen writes a book about Rembrandt's painting called The Return of the Prodigal Son. It's a painting that hangs in a Russian museum, and he went to go see it. And he sat at it for 15 hours looking at a painting. And some of you are like, I don't think I could look at art for more than 5 minutes. He says, I traveled all the way around the country to go and see it. And he wrote a book called The Return of the Prodigal Son. If anybody loves to read, it's not that long of a book. One of the most life-changing books I ever read when I was in college is this book right here, The Return of the Prodigal Son. Some of you are going to read it. I'm going to close tonight with 3 very serious quotes from this book, and then we're going to have to wrap up tonight, and we're going to have to get to the rest of the story in just a moment, or rest of the story next week as we wrap up this series. Jesus didn't say these words. Henry Nouwen did when he talked about this painting. But Luke has been over there standing in the far country. Now, Luke, you're back there among other people that care about you, but you still are separated from all your friends. It's a little awkward to stand there for the entire time. It's a little lonely. It's not really humiliating, but you're standing there. You feel like everybody's looking at you. This guy is in complete need. Let me say this to wrap up. And normally I try to end on a lighter note, or I try to end with you land the plane and we have an ending. We're going to have to end in a real spot of tension. But I want everybody from the far end over there all the way over there to pay attention. If you're a guest, if you've been here, if you've been raised in the church, doesn't matter. Every adult, every human within the sound of my voice, because the one speaking to you has lived this. It's why I wrote them down in the book. And if you were to go through this book, you're going to easily find 3 pages where I wrote down the word wow, or this is the best sentence. And I want to just give you 3 sentences. The whole book, by the way, is as good as the 3 sentences I'm going to give you. But I could probably think easily of about 6 people in my life that I know well that I would love to just sit down and say, would you just read this with me? Some of them are much younger than me. Some of them are much older than me. Some of them are my age. Some of them are your age, whether you're a 7th grader or a 12th grader. But my guess is every single one of you will find yourself in these next 3 slides. And so I want you to lock into that. And then next week, we have the much more hopeful ending of the story. If you've been to every part of this series and missed next week, it's going to feel really bad to not hear the ending of the story. But tonight we have to leave you in the far country. Because unlike a funny travel stop, nobody goes to those places. Nobody's destination, unless you're Weird Al and that was your family's destination, was the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. Nobody, that's their vacation destination. We just get lured there because we stopped at a rest area and somebody said, oh, look at this. And you're like, that looks fun. Let's go do that. No. We're heading to the beach, but let's go do this right now. It's funny when it's one of those places, but for some of you guys and girls, you've gotten off the journey. And what you don't realize is that you're at a spot that is not meant to be the spot where you're headed. Luke is metaphorically there now. But if you've kind of tuned me out, would you just give me the next few seconds to show you these slides? Because this is big. Now it says, I leave home every time I lose faith in the voice that calls me the beloved, and follow the voices that offer a great variety of ways to win the love I so much desire. Just give me a little nod if you say, yeah, I know that's wordy and that's very artistically said, but I get what he's saying. You all get that? Hey, I'm trying to go this way with all of my Christian friends, but then there's a voice over here. But somebody's calling me beloved. God says, you're my beloved. You are my son. And you're like, yeah, I got that, God. But have you heard this? Like, I got to go and hear this. I got to go and see this. There are a great variety of ways that the world's going to say, hey, I can give you that love now. I can give you that popularity now. I can give you that fame now. I can give you that friendship now. I can give you that satisfaction now. Fill in the blank. There's all kinds of voices. And he says, anytime you hear those voices, you want to pack up and go, yep, I know I'm your son, but I got to take a little trip. Because, man, I desire that love. First slide done. If you got it, say got it. As long as I am kept small by those voices, I can easily be seduced to buy things, meet people, or go places that promise a radical change in self-concept, even though they are totally incapable of bringing this about. Just nod your head if you say, that makes sense. Oh, I can hey, Luke. If you just come with us, we can make you feel like this. They won't say, we're totally incapable of bringing that about, but we can tell you we're going to do it. And you're going to meet people, you're going to buy things, you're going to go to places, and we're going to really make you feel special, Luke. But you need to know, Luke, they don't say this either, we're going to keep you small. We're going to keep you, because if you get bigger than us, then we're not going to like that. So we're going to keep you feeling small so that we can feel better about ourselves. But we're going to make you feel pretty good because you'll be a part of us. If you got it, say got it. Last slide. I am beginning to see how radically the character of my spiritual journey will change when I no longer think of God as hiding out and making it as difficult as possible for me to find Him, but instead as the one who is looking for me while I am the one doing the hiding. I've only got like 10 seconds to explain this. I actually don't have that, but I'm going to explain it. He says, I'm going to be so changed. When Luke normally thinks, he's like, man, God, you're so hard to find. Where is God? How do I even know that you're real? Like, God, I want to go listen to these people because at least they promise me things. At least they give me stuff. I feel better when I'm with them. I don't know about this. And so you step off the path, Luke, and then God gets harder to find. And some of you are here tonight and you're saying, I don't know that I believe all of this. Let's keep learning together. It's okay that you don't believe. I'm fine with that. You're here and we're learning together. But when you step off the path, it's going to be more and more difficult, and you're going to start thinking that God is the one that is hard to find. And the world's going to tell you, God, like, where is he? I don't see him. Yeah, you know what? I hadn't found him either. And he says, I'm so radically, my character is so changed when I start thinking of God as the one that is difficult to find. But instead, he says, I've got to come to terms with the fact that God is looking for me while I'm the one doing the hiding. Because it's easy for the son to go, I'm in the far country. The shepherd went and found the sheep. The woman turned over the house for the coin. Where's my dad? He hadn't come looking for me. And Jesus said the story is not done yet. The father knew that son was lost before he ever left home. And he says, I'm going to have to wait until you are in such need that you realize. And you're like, well, where is the dad in the story? Where is the father? Some of you know the ending. But two things as we go. One, the original audience did not know the ending to this story. They did not know where the father was. And number two, some of you right now are in the middle of a story where you don't know the ending. And you are equally as heartbroken and confused and angry and frustrated because you also don't know where the loving Father is when he is supposed to be here coming to get me. So all you need to hear me say is, turn the page and read the rest of the story. And we'll look at that next week. God, I thank you for Luke, who represents all of us at one time standing far away. I thank you for this amazing story. And I thank you that we can, for just a moment, step into an audience that had never heard it before. And God, I pray that next week as we finish, that the people who need to hear it will be here. Because the ending of this story is so unexpected. Even for those of us who think we know the ending of the story, it's so unexpected. And I thank you that we've been able to sit in it for several weeks. I hope it's changed others the way it has changed my heart by reflecting on those times in my life when I was seduced by the far country. And I know what it's like to be in need, but I'm thankful for people that pointed me to the page of the story that I had left out. And may we see it next week. And it's through your son's name that we pray, and we all say together, amen. Would you help us by cleaning up? If you can help with that race, Brad will be right up here. Have a great night, everybody. Grab your cups, grab everything on your table and throw it away. Grab all your trash. God bless you guys. I'm going to go home and eat some cereal.